for some reason it felt sweet. There was a sweetness to the 90s that was so like optimistic and
I'm speaking right now with Sean Keenan and Ashley Zukerman, the cast, the stars of One More Shot. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
thanks for having us. Is the
Honestly,
original Lion King poster there, or is that like the
I
remake?
I wish it is the original movie. It's
The
the
original movie.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
the original like 90s movie, not the CGI remake. No, that's a
No, no,
No, that's
that's a 94 right there. Oh yeah.
yeah, love that. Love that.
That's the classic. That's the one I love. Um, and I really did love One More Shot. It's so funny and it's like dark and earnest, and there's so much to love about this movie. What went through your minds when you got the script? What excited you about these characters?
um yeah, when I first got the script, I thought it was delightful, and I thought the first thing that occurred to me was that it's just not the kind of thing we usually make in Australia. The types of things we usually make are either like they're on the spectrum in the sense that like they're at an edge of the spectrum in the sense that like they can be quite dark and sort of meaningful and earnest, or very light. But we don't make so many things that kind of operate between the two, and also it's a style of film that kind of 90s pedestrian fantasy film, which I grew up on, and I love like body swap movies, Back to the Future or Big, or these films which there's a fantasy element that helps the characters reach whatever it is that they were always going to reach. Those films I really love, and so the opportunity to make one in Australia I thought was pretty sweet. And I thought there was a lot of room in the script. I thought there was a lot of opportunity inside it to kind of have some fun and bring it to life. And yeah, I thought, and the team was great. So I thought it was exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I was the same, In Australia, you get a lot of I guess we just don't do sort of concept dramedy comedies much at all for some reason. And this script was so fun and silly, and I was like, but also the characters had, a nice level of depth and something you could kind of, get your teeth into. And I talked to Nick, and as soon as I talked to Nick, I was like, you know, I think this is going to be a great time. And I felt like, also in good hands. So it was kind of a straightaway yes from me. I was like, I really like it. And yeah, it just doesn't, we just don't really, we rarely do it in Australia. We do, we've done great comedies, like, but nowadays it's getting kind of, there's longer and longer periods between a great Australian comedy film. So yeah, it was cool.
I absolutely fell in love with it. It's just so much fun. And I do have to ask, I'm showing my age. I don't want you to reveal yours, but do either of you have any memories of Y2K or stories you've been told about it when like
That's very kind. Sean may not, but I have many memories of Y2K. Y2K was big. I
How
was
old are you? You still play 16, don't you, Ash?
Yeah, I play anything 16 to 39.
18.
Yeah, whatever you need. Um,
I, I was
but
7, so
yeah,
no, I was
but
7.
yeah, I mean it's funny because every period has its. I mean, it's crazy to think about like now when I was growing up and the 70s felt so far away, and now it's very difficult to put yourself in kids' minds now thinking that the 90s are somehow a period. It was strange to like open this script up and know that we're playing 99 and to realize, oh, that's now a period. We're actually doing a period film now. That's a very confronting reality. But I do remember Y2K, and I do remember how funny it was. I wasn't concerned because I think I hadn't, yeah, I just wasn't concerned. I guess maybe because I'm a kid, and maybe because I just like live in Australia where seemingly we have a good social safety net. So what, like we grow up thinking that nothing really bad can happen to us. So the apocalypse seemed very far away. But I just yeah, Sean. Do
Look,
when you read about Y2K, when you read about the 90s, does it?
I've no, I was so blithely unaware. I think, but the 90s for me was such a I was a child, but it was just like such a carefree time in Australia, but kind of globally, like there was no global warming, things like that weren't these sort of big global issues. So I just remember life being very carefree and kind of seeming a bit, but maybe that was just because I was a child.
Well, maybe, but also I think there is something like there. I mean, why we were so like. I mean, obviously, the world that we're living in now was born in decades before, and so like things were going on in the 90s, but for some reason it felt sweet. There was a sweetness to the 90s that was so like optimistic, and
Yeah.
that was
Was that particularly in Australia? I'm not sure.
I think it was
That's
everywhere.
Here we were waiting for the world to burn. No, no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So you guys are really worried about Y2K. No, I reckon, mostly like I can imagine my household would have just thought it was a big joke. They would have gone, this isn't actually going to happen. A bit like Ash.
Yeah. I just, yeah, it's funny. It's naivety. It's just naivety.
It
Steve,
might
were
be
you
naive,
worried
yeah.
about Y2K? Do you remember? Were you worried
Yes,
about it? Really?
well, we weren't worried about it, and I think we did the New Year's Eve thing, and I think we had a Rodney. So somebody shuts the lights off, right off, and everyone goes, and then but
Right.
I know somebody who bought a second generator and didn't have a first. I'm sorry, they bought two generators for fear. Like, I mean, this is like their family went over the edge. But most of us were
Wow.
like, I remember being disappointed that at least my phone didn't go on and off or something like that. But like, because there was so
Those
much
people
talk about it.
now, like, do you think those people like now in the face of like genuine apocalypse that's coming upon us, like, are they also buying other generators? Are they also like having go bags and
No, they haven't gone that far. They haven't gone that far. Um, but no, honestly, I remember that time, and that time was because nobody knew. And it's interesting because in this watching this film, it's a very appropriate date for it to be set because these characters are leaning into a new phase of their lives, and
Yeah.
whether or not they're ready for that. I mean, it's very very much very appropriate. I felt it really works.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
I see we're already running out of time, but I
oh,
wanted
that's
to.
sorry.
No, this has been great. It's actually been. This is so much fun. I wondered though for you both because so much of this film is about trying to fix the past, or at least fix things up. I wonder, and even with with certainly with Rodney as well. Um, do you think we can ever get it perfect? Like life in general, like when we do these things
That's
for
what
this.
yeah, that's what I loved about the film is that it did speak to that question because I play a character who believes like has never had the mandate in his life to actually deal with the present, and it has led him to like not be conflict averse and in the belief that he can always restart things. I mean, that's in our film, that's a sci-fi conceit, but that's also something true of a lot of people, that a lot of people reach conflict or difficulties in their life and they decide to restart their lives and they rather than actually like engage with the conflict. And I think that to answer your question, I think we can't ever really what Rodney like almost learns but doesn't, but definitely Emily's character learns is that like no, we can't actually fix the past. All we can do is come to accept it and somehow grow from it. And that is what, if life's about anything, it feels like the film sort of points to that being an answer for it.
Totally. I mean, like if I had an actual time traveling bottle of something, I think I'd pretty quickly learn that, so far it's been the worst moments in my life and the biggest mistakes that pushing through the pain, living with the pain is, I know it's a cliche, but it's like that's what makes your life great. And
Yeah.
having the ability to dodge it would, I go, inevitably have to make your life worse. I think it's the life's about dealing with it, pushing through, and reaching the other side, and knowing that experiencing the lows, so you can get to those. Otherwise, it'd just be. I mean, I'd have a great time, but I think I'd end up less happy. Yeah,
Yeah. Beautiful.
yeah.
I appreciate that. Honestly, the film truly is so much fun. I fell in love with it so quickly. And it's just a blast. You guys are great. Thank you so much for the time. I really
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
so much. Really
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
it.
All right, let's
Thanks so
chat.
much. Absolutely. Have a
See
great
ya.
day. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.